What's going on, everyone, and welcome back to the Stoic Context channel. Today we are going to react to another Kevin Samuels video. I'm going to save my commentary for the end of the video, so stay tuned for that. Make sure you guys like and subscribe. Let's get into it.
iPhone, unmute.
Hello.
Hello, how are you?
I'm great. How are you?
Good, how old are you?
I'm 31.
31. So, what
Hello.
do what do you have for me? Because my question is, what are black women prepared to do to save the black community?
What are Black women prepared to do?
What
Um,
should black women what should black
what am
women
I
do
prepared to
Yeah,
do?
that's the
Well, I
question. That's the general question tonight.
yeah, so I think that Black women need to speak to each other. I
Okay.
feel like the yeah, I feel like I don't know why I'm nervous,
I
but I
don't
feel like
either.
the conversation, the certain topics that you bring up are very important, and the
Mhm.
fact that you speak with such I feel like sometimes you're a little abrasive, I'll be honest with you. But the truth doesn't necessarily need to be given softly because it
So
you
so so
hear
if,
it
so if
more when
that's the
it's
so if that's the case, then why
uh-huh.
then if you believe that, why ever bring up the fact
Okay.
that you think I'm abrasive? If you really believe that.
Well, because at times, like I'm not saying always, because the truth should always be, given. It only hurts those that aren't willing to accept it. However, I feel like I don't know, on a handful of occasions, I can't specify right now, but like it's like that was a little
So
rough.
so what?
But
So, I mean,
okay, but
let's say,
that's fine. But that's who
and
you
here's
are, so
let me say
I'm
this
not
though.
knocking
Let me
that.
say that.
Hmm.
But see, the thing is, the more we do that, we focus on stuff, in my opinion, that doesn't matter.
I agree. You're
So I'm gonna
focusing
give you
on the
what you just
wrong.
said, that women need
Okay.
to talk to each other and this and that. This is a critical thing, and we're worried about how I say stuff a handful of times. Can you handle that level? Can you handle that perfection standard if I turned it to you? Can if I turned the spotlight to you and I critiqued how you said everything you did at all times, would you be as perfect as you think I should be?
Not at all. I
And
don't
stop
think that
the
you should
list.
be
That's not the
perfect.
point, man. You just said a
Uh-huh.
few times. If it's a few times,
Hmm.
we don't. I started this talking about how a man's image is handled.
Correct.
What you made is a classic thing that we tend to do. Majoring in the minors and something that's irrelevant.
Mm.
You, in my personal opinion, if we were really serious, that stuff would start going away. You wouldn't even think to bring it up, and vice
Okay.
versa. But we're so used to nitpicking each other.
Mm.
That's why we get nowhere, because we nitpick.
Focusing on the wrong thing,
Huh?
the problem instead of the solution. Yeah, I understand. I agree.
Okay.
So,
So
back to your
what do women
question,
need to talk to each other about?
just creating a community where, we're not necessarily lying to each other or like holding each other accountable, rather, and to a standard. Because the issue is that black families aren't staying together because
Okay.
women don't necessarily understand their roles, like
Are you
whether
married?
they weren't taught. um yes, but separated.
Um,
So
how long were you married?
5 years.
I mean, children.
One.
How old is your kid?
Three.
And why are you guys not? Why are you guys separated?
um there were multiple things, but I was there was an infidelity on my part.
And he left you?
Yes.
How long ago?
Been separated 2 years.
All right. See, this is why my point was germane. You can't. I said, what can black women do? And you immediately went to black women. We need to talk to each other about this. When your situation is what I'm thinking about, black women
Mm-hmm.
need to be with black men and having black families instead of having women wreck their own homes. It would have been better, in my opinion, for you to come in and talk about your circumstance and address how to possibly fix your circumstance, because that's what
Well,
we need, black men and black women together making black
mhm,
families.
I agree. And Black women coming together and holding each
That
other accountable.
black women coming
Uh,
together is not, you can't do everything at once.
I agree.
Just think about how many black women you hear will say they're pro black family
Hmm.
and have no black man.
Yeah, that is me.
You can't be pro black. How are you pro black family and you don't have a husband and kids? And if that's not,
The goal.
I'm going to say this to the audience. I'm going to see if the men approve. I think our women are focused on things outside of themselves because the focus in the mirror is too painful. I find it interesting how many women want to come on and don't want to ask questions for themselves. They want to talk about every other woman. And then when I start asking questions about them, it's like, oh, well, this is a bigger issue. Like for you and your husband, y'all are separated. Are y'all still in communication?
Uh, no.
Are
Well,
you
yes
are,
and no. We don't verbally communicate, but
so
we
are you guys going to
do.
divorce?
Yes.
All right. And there's no, and he doesn't want to reconcile with you in any way.
No, he doesn't. Yeah. I mean, the infidelity happened once, and it was with a woman, but there were like layers to that
So
as well.
you had so you cheated with a woman.
Correct.
All right. And was there ever a chance that you guys could resolve?
Um, Ever a chance
Yeah,
then
because
or now?
when he found out that you were having an affair, how did he find out
Well,
about it?
yeah.
How did he find out
Well,
about it?
he discovered, like, he found out the day of. He asked me, and I was honest. Well,
No, no.
I.
Why was he? No, man. What I'm asking is, how did he even be?
Mhm.
People just don't go around and say, "I ain't going to the store." By the way, are you cheating? I mean,
Well, no, he was supposed to pick me up from work, and I wasn't there. And then when I got home, he asked me, and I told him.
so you were supposed to pick you up, and you were gone. And then when you
Mhm.
got home, he said, "Where you been?" And you said, "I was with another woman."
It didn't happen that quickly, but more or less to like skip the
Okay.
dramatics. Mhm.
Um, did you ask? Did you stop seeing that woman?
Um, yes, it only happened once, but
Did you ask
there
for?
were,
Did you ask for forgiveness?
yes, I asked for forgiveness, and then we tried to,
Okay.
make it work after that.
Did you guys go to
However,
counseling?
no, we did not.
All right, man. That's what I'm trying to understand. You're about to
Right, I
reckon. You stop.
understand the.
Breathe. Listen to what I'm about
Hmm.
to say. Listen to what I'm about to say.
I'm listening.
I think you ladies. I think y'all give up far too easy. You're married. You got
I
a kid. Listen.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You're married. You got a kid. You were sloppy with your cheating. He asked, and you did you really have to tell him if you were not
I
going to
mean,
continue? Listen, if you weren't going to
Mhm.
continue to see her, did you have to share that? Because see, let me tell you, ladies, something, and I'm going to explain this to you. Don't tell men truths that they can't handle. If you
Mm.
had an
Yeah,
affair with a
that
woman
part.
and you weren't planning on doing it, you should have lied to your husband. You goddamn right. You should have lied and kept your family together. You should have carried that guilt around like a goddamn albatross around your neck and kept your family together for your kid instead of unburdening yourself, telling him the truth, wrecking your own home. My point of view. I've said this before though, and I said it that way to kind of demonstrate that if you were truly sorry and you didn't want to do it, because if you just said, oh, I was, I don't know, playing tiddlywinks. But when you,
curious, yeah, curious.
but if you tell a man that you're cheating, he has to do, he can't unhear that and he has to react.
It wasn't.
I've told, and I'm gonna tell you something. I've said this to my ex.
May I say something
Go
before
ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
continue? So, it wasn't something that was like continuous. It was something out of curiosity, open opportunity, and then it happened.
That's
So
what
for
I
me,
said. So if it was only one time, don't do it. And if people think I'm full of
okay,
shit, if people
go ahead.
if people think I'm full of shit, I've said this several years. I've told this to my ex. If you cheat on me one time, don't unburden yourself to me. You carry that shit to the grave. The only way you tell me is if it's ongoing, then I need to go. Are you saying you had a curiosity one time and it was over?
Yes.
Then you shouldn't have said anything. That's what I'm saying. So ladies,
So
don't.
then honesty, okay, so honesty and trust doesn't matter.
Fuck your honesty and trust. You wrecked your home.
Yeah, I understand that.
So you unburdened yourself on the notion of honesty and trust. So now you got a kid that's a product of divorce. Much better alternative.
Unfortunately.
Shout out to Sister Shahrazad Ali when she was talking about this last night on Mediocre Tutorials. Y'all are far too. That was selfish.
I agree.
So my point is, and I'm doing this not to beat up on you, but what I'm trying to say is,
yeah, it's fine.
You unburden yourself, but have you tried to reconcile? What have you guys when I asked, did you guys go to therapy? No. Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, have you really, really, really exhausted all of your options? Put your pride to the side and try to fix your marriage?
I mean, we've spoken about therapy.
Have you put your pride to the side? I'm asking about you. Have you put your pride to the side, swallowed your pride, and exhausted all of your options? I'm sorry, honey. And if I got to stand on this doorstep for 500 days begging your forgiveness until you let me in, I'll do that.
No, I have not.
Well, then, home wreckers. Prideful home wreckers. This is what I mean. You guys may not like my approach, may not like my tone, but ultimately, this is you're 30 what?
31.
31. Back in your grandmother or your great grandmother's time, it was not uncommon to, when one of those women died, people were meeting whole other sides of families. I'm going to tell you ladies something. Do you think that I was looking at a channel called It's Complicated. Do you think that trust and fidelity and monogamy should be mandatory in a relationship? Monogamy.
Mm-hmm.
Do you?
Are you asking me?
Yeah.
No, actually, my husband and I used to talk about polygamy as well. However, finances didn't really reflect capacity to do that. So
okay, but the ultimate point is, if we lived longer, we wouldn't be monogamous. Monogamy is a silly concept.
I agree. Polygamy makes more sense.
But that's for people who. But I want to stay on track here. It doesn't make. I want to make sure I clear it up. Monogamy. If you realize that the majority of children on this planet is made by a small group of men, most men aren't making kids. Kids are. If you just look at, you can't get 7 billion people the way we are. But my point ultimately is to this: you and your husband, your child is how old?
3.
3, and you've been separated for 2 years.
Mhm.
And can you honestly, and if you haven't exhausted all your options to get your husband back, how are you going to explain this to your child?
I understand. I mean, there's a lot of other
And
things that
always,
go.
ma'am, always, but I'm not going to go off on that shit. You did
Yeah,
it.
I understand. Yes,
You
I
did it.
know.
Okay.
So the
If let me flip,
responsibility would be
and all the
mine.
women who are pissed off at me right now, if this were a man I was talking to and he cheated on his wife, and I said you got to exhaust all your options, get your wife back, y'all be like, you're goddamn right. Well then, and it goes round robin to what are black women do to say willing to save the black community. This may sting a little bit. Hold on.
Mm,
Oh, you came in saying that we need to talk to one another as black women. That's what you said. I submit that if you ain't willing to save your own marriage, you can't say shit about saving a community.
okay, fair.
And that's how many of us think as men. Y'all are always looking external versus looking the best thing we all can do. People are like, how you gonna say something? You've been divorced twice. Yeah, but I at least tried to be with 2 black women. And I got 1 black child. You can't say just because it didn't work didn't mean I didn't try. But so many of our women are not even trying. And when you're there, you give up so quickly. Last question. So, because since you've been very honest, I'm going to ask you a very honest question.
Sure.
The women who came before you, the Rosa Parks and all the strong women that we talk about,
Mhm.
do you, how far do you think we would have gotten as a people with women who have the constitution of modern women?
Not far at all.
Then, ladies,
It's like,
di-
yeah,
dislike my tone all you want to, but we need our women to be not wreck their own homes. Notice I'm not talking about the infidelity and the moral question of what she should or should not do. I don't know. I'm talking about the duty and responsibility and commitment that you both made when you had the child, and it's about something bigger.
correct.
I think so. Thank you. Appreciate it. This was actually going to be a pretty good conversation. Before y'all
Thank you.
file, before you file, I think you may need to really consider uh, trying to make it right with your husband because, ma'am, as a single mother out here, you need to understand most men are not trying to sign up to be stepfathers these days.
Understood. I
This,
was listening to how like a man can be sued for child support even if that's not their child. Like
yep.
that's crazy to me.
So
That's crazy.
appreciate it, ma'am. Bye bye.
Thank you.
Like I said, y'all may not always think look, I've said it before and I'll say it again. I told an ex of mine, if you cheat on me, you better make sure I don't find out about it. And don't you ever, and if it's only one time, don't you ever tell me. You take that shit to your grave. Because once you tell somebody something, I think I think that is the most selfish thing you can do. If you know you're not going to do it, you regret it, you keep it. Because when you tell a man, in this case, and tell a man, I was going to say, or a woman, but in this case, a man, he can't unhear that. He has to know it. Uh, Everybody in the Zoom room, you got to get on camera, and if you're going to troll, just go ahead and throw your picture up.
Man, just even on that last part, Kevin, hey man, better man than me. One thing about it, I'm going to have to know and I'm going to have to do something about it. But hey, I guess I haven't reached that level of maturity yet because I understand it takes a lot of experience and having to go through things in order to properly understand some of these talking points. So I will give Kevin that. I'm not there yet, but all in all, this is one of the few rare times that a woman comes in and be completely honest about her whole situation. This woman cheated on her husband with another woman. Now, I don't know. Everyone may be different, but and I don't know. I want you guys to let me know if I'm wrong. Just let me know I'm wrong. Just say, you know what, that's not how it is. Actually, I think or I know it's actually this way. And the question I'm getting to is cheating with a woman, woman on woman, to me isn't as bad as a woman cheating with a man. Cheating may be cheating, right? I know that's probably what you guys are going to tell me. Cheating is cheating no matter who is with. But I personally believe that if the woman cheated with another woman, it isn't as bad, right? Like there's some things you could overlook, and there are some things that you can't overlook. And I believe that if the woman was cheating with a man, of course that is something you just cannot overlook. But a woman cheating with a woman, I don't really see it as the same. But the fact that the other man, the ex-husband, took it very seriously and broke up with the woman, of course it has to have some type of, it has to mean the same thing to him. He took it personal enough to where he didn't like it and he thought that the relationship should be ended. And then this woman came along and decided to tell her husband she cheated on him. And she didn't even cheat on him with a man; it was with a woman. So again, I'm just very confused. I have a million different questions now. Was this like a situation that happened before? Did the husband know that she was into women? Maybe they did things all together at the beginning of the relationship, and then he ended up making her a wife. But of course, none of those things actually truly go away, especially once you start in a relationship. And we're also talking about a polyamorous relationship, which is where it's more than one partner. It may have been one partner on her end and one partner on his end, and they would come into it like that. Or usually, it's three people in total. And the fact that she's even had some of these conversations with her ex kind of hints towards the fact that they may have been playing and dabbling in this field for a little bit. But it's just when she stepped out and decided to do her own thing is where it started the problem. But all in all, I think this is a very good lesson. Some things I agree with Kevin on, some things I don't. I do believe you should be honest though and tell your partner that you have been doing things behind their back because, you know, if you really truly love them, you don't want to have something like that just lingering in the background to pop up at any
Yana,
time.
go ahead and unmute yourself. Hello. Hello, how are you? Good. Do you have this playing on TV or on another window? Okay, y'all got. All right. So if you're in the if you're in the Zoom, you should be able to hear this without being in. So hello, how are you? Good. What do you have? How old are you? All right. So what's the comment or concern? Okay. Okay. I don't know. I don't understand what you're talking about. Hmm.
And I am a woman that is woman enough to apologize to him when I'm wrong. So when he is wrong, how are we to handle that though? You know, even if he does apologize, like I'm finding it hard for me to kind of really come back from it though. Like, really?
Okay. All right. So I see what happened. I'll replay that. I'll upload the first part for the audience because it's popping off. Okay. So First, you said you're in a relationship,
Hmm.
and how long you been in a relationship?
We've been in a relationship for a little over a year.
And he did something,
Hmm.
and he apologized.
He did apologize after the fact, but during the conversation, during the argument,
Okay.
it got a bit heated. I said a few things. I got a little bit out of character.
Okay.
Um,
Okay. But bottom line, there was a disagreement.
yes,
He apologized,
he
and
apologized.
you're having a hard time getting past it.
Yes.
Well, I gotta ask, man. A little background. Have you ever been married?
No, I haven't.
Any children?
I do. I do have a 2-year-old. I started late.
How old are you again?
I'm 42. I got pregnant when I was 39.
Hold on.
First baby,
Where's my slap
first
sound?
pregnancy.
And are you is this the child's father you with?
No, it's not. Mm-mm.
Does he want the same relationship outcomes that you want?
The man I'm with now?
Yeah.
Yes, of course. Hmm.
I mean,
She is.
I just think you need to understand how fortunate you even are that at 40, in your mid 40s, you got a man who's even willing to deal with you and a 2-year-old. I'm gonna just come straight down the pipe. You 42, 44, 42, 44,
I'm 42.
42 with a 2-year-old. And you had an
Yes.
argument with somebody who ain't your toddler's father.
Yes.
And I'm sure you got a mouth on you.
Don't say that. Don't say that.
Ma'am,
I've come a long way.
ma'am,
Can
I'm
I
sure you got a
say
mouth
that?
on you. Ma'am,
Hmm.
you asked for advice, right?
Yes.
I'm sure you got a mouth on you at 42. Is that accurate or inaccurate?
Um, it might be a bit accurate. Hmm.
All right, then. So why would you say don't say that?
Because I think it's offensive.
Your mouth is offensive.
And I'm working on that.
I
I'm
don't
not
care if you're working on it. See
agreeing with you.
what I just showed you, ma'am, is a statement of fact that's offensive to you.
Hmm.
Who
It
are
was
you to
it
be
was
getting? Oh no, no, no. Who are you to be getting an attitude with anybody with a 2-year-old? You're lucky that the man is even going to deal with you. And this is what we need to start telling women. Y'all got a lot of goddamn nerve to have an attitude when you 42 with a toddler and you know you got a mouth and you can't get past it. Well, by the time your child is 18, you'll be 60.
hmm
Why aren't you with the child's father?
um
That mouth?
no, no. He would much rather be doing other things.
Okay, let's reel it back in. I don't understand why you ladies get so offended at the truth that you know.
Because I don't want to breathe life to it. That's all.
That is
I
bull.
see what you're saying,
That
and
is
I
bull.
truly agree with you.
That is bullshit. This is part of the problem with modern women. You won't acknowledge your faults. And you guys have come up with this new age BS. Well, I don't want to breathe life into it. I want to bring light, focus, magnify it so you can see it, so you can understand how it affects somebody else. You guys act like if I don't see it or talk about it, it won't go anywhere. He's dealing with it, just like you deal with his stuff, right?
Hmm.
But let's be honest here. He doesn't have a, does he have a kid?
He has 2 older children.
How much older?
They are a lot older, actually, 20 and 18.
You are out of your French toast mind, man. This man, even the fact that he's dealing with you and a toddler, you should be on your knees thanking God every day.
And who's to say I'm not? Who's
Because
to
you
say
said you
I'm
got a
not?
problem getting past it. And you got a problem getting past it. Let's get into this. You want, did he cheat on you? Or what was the nature of the argument?
Um,
Just the nature. You don't have to get into the specifics.
the nature of the argument. It was more so, hey, he asked me a question about some things that he wanted me to be really transparent about. And
Okay.
when I began to talk about it, I had some reservations and I held back, and he was upset about that.
Was it stuff that he needed to know for his own protection?
I wouldn't say it was to that extent, but I think he felt like I wasn't comfortable enough. And
Okay. So he asked you to be transparent about some stuff that you weren't comfortable necessarily revealing.
Mm-hmm.
And you started talking about it, but you withheld some stuff.
Yes.
And he could sense that you were withholding stuff, or you admitted that you withheld stuff?
He sensed it, and then I admitted it.
All right. And then how did you guys get into an argument?
Because I wouldn't say immediately, but like I said, I sensed that he was upset, and then there was the attitude. Like,
you got an attitude.
And that's, I guess it kind of
hold on. You got an attitude.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So he asked you something to be transparent about something.
Mm-hmm.
You said it wasn't necessarily need to know, but he asked you. Right?
Right.
Now, you ladies often say you want a man who's honest. And if we flip this script and you asked a man to be honest and he came at you with a halfway story and half truth, and then you sense that he's being halfway truthful, which is deceptive, and you feel some kind of way, and if he attacked you with an attitude, what would we call him? What do we call that man?
What do we call him, Kevin?
What would we call him, ma'am?
A liar, someone who's not being trustworthy.
He asked you to be honest with something, and you were deceptive.
I wasn't being deceptive.
And you were not being. No, see, this is another thing.
The conversation
Did
kind
you
of
tell?
threw me
Did you
off.
tell? Did you tell what?
The conversation kind of threw me off. That's where I wasn't
then
expecting it.
Okay, and did you tell him I'm not comfortable sharing this?
Yes.
Or did you? Okay, all right, but then hold on. But man, you're in a relationship.
Mm-hmm.
He asked you something. You have the choice to either disclose or not disclose. But a partial disclosure is a partial lie. It's a lie of omission.
Okay.
See how slick and loose you guys play with it when you guys are the ones. That's why I was saying in the beginning, y'all can't even apologize. He asked you something that you weren't comfortable with sharing. So you just shared, and he could sense that you weren't being upfront. And he asked you about it, then you admitted it. And then you got an attitude because he could sense that you were lying. And you have a problem getting over this?
I have a 42-year-old
woman with a 2-year-old.
Handled it.
This is why y'all are nuts.
No.
Ma'am, I need you to listen. You are lucky that you have a man. I don't know if y'all really understand this. You got a 2-year-old. Your baby daddy don't want to deal with you.
You don't say that. I'm not gonna let you do me like that because I know I'm a good person and I know that there's some things that I need to work on.
Ma'am.
That's
don't
why
tell me
I
what not.
listen
Don't
to
you do that.
Kevin.
No, hell no,
I
hell
get a
no,
lot of
no, don't
advice
talk.
from
No,
you.
hell no. Oh, I'm not your man. I'm not gonna let me do you like what? You're the one that laid up and had a baby with a dude that didn't want to be with you. Don't get mad at me because I acknowledge it. Your old ass. I mean, seriously, and I'm mirroring back what you give, ma'am. You're not gonna let me do what? Acknowledge the fact that you had a baby at 40 with a guy who didn't want to marry you. Then why'd you have his baby?
Because I wanted to.
Right, but does he want to be with you?
That's neither here nor there.
No, ma'am, you said you're not going to let me do anything. You said you're not going to let me do something. Does your child's father want to be with you?
And I don't want to be with him.
That's not what I asked. That's not what I asked.
It's mutual.
See, that's my point. See, people, this is modern women. And this is a woman who's involved with somebody who she lied to when he sensed that she was lying and she got an attitude. This all started when I said she had a mouth on her. And remember, this is a 42-year-old woman with a 2-year-old.
You're using the word lie, and
liar, deception. intent to deceive,
That's
defraud.
not what it
That's what you did when you don't tell the whole truth. You should have just said, I won't talk about it. And look at this. This smug ass, like, now remember, she mad at him. She can't get past it. Bro, if you see this, let her be with her baby. You don't need this. You don't need a woman who thinks she's doing you a favor by giving you half a truth. When y'all always talk about y'all want a man to be honest. But she don't want to breathe life into it. I don't want to breathe life into it. Why am I being so direct? Because these are the women that the younger women look at. And why do you think we're jacked up? These women are my contemporaries. And ma'am, you asked. And I'm just sitting here wondering why you can't even admit what you said. As if it's going to change anything. You're just talking to yourself. You're going to say,
I told
hold
him
on,
that I
man.
did not want to talk about it at the
Okay,
time.
man, but I'm going to go back to the point of you not going to let me do something. I
Right,
said,
because Kevin, you're putting words in my
you're not
mouth
going to
and
overtalk
you're
me.
trying to
I will,
change up
I
everything.
will
And
end up
I was
having
just
my own damn. This is why you can't make this up. Shame, insults, guilt, the need to be right, defiant. This is somebody's mama. She ain't learned shit at 42. Chronologically, 42. Still bopping around here like a 20-something-year-old. Who has a child out of wedlock with a man who don't want to marry you? And I don't want to marry him either. And I'm going to stand on what I said. You're lucky that somebody's even willing to deal with you. Look at her ass. She just talking. She just talking to herself anyway.
Insane. I'm actually surprised Kevin gave her that much airtime. Not only that much airtime, I'm surprised he didn't go off a bit sooner. She comes into the show saying that she's upset about something. She can't get past this one thing. When you peel the layers back, what do you find out? She's upset because the man that she was with, this is not the baby's father. This is a new man that she's with. The new man that she's with asked her about her past. We can almost guarantee it was something either about the child's father or something that she's done in the past, or maybe a story that she told at one point in time, but as they had the conversation again, it didn't add up to what she said before. So when, he puts two and two together and he confronts her, she tells a lie. And then when he's like, all right, well, you told me this before, or you've said this. So what's the truth? She's upset at him for pointing out that she was lying. This is literally manipulation 101. Someone calls you out for lying, for telling a lie, and then you turn around and get mad because they caught you. Insane. But then turn around, then this woman has a 2-year-old. She's 42 now, just had a baby at 40. A man is deciding to step in. He has grown children already. He's deciding now to step in, take care of the child. And all he's asking for is the truth. He's done already. He's done his job as a father. His kids are grown. They're out of the house already. She's going to be cooped up with that baby for at least the next 16 years. This guy steps in to the fray, decides that he's going to support her and the child. He asks a question, and then he can't even get the truth. And then she wants to catch an attitude and get mad at him for the way he pointed it out and how he reacted. Leave ungrateful women alone. That's the message of the day. Leave ungrateful women alone. Let them figure it out.
And I don't want to see any more broken home. Hello?
Hi. Can you hear me better now?
I can. How are you?
I'm doing well. How about yourself?
So your name is Dakota?
Yes.
Are you north or are you south? Which one are you?
That's good. That's funny. I've never heard that joke before, but I would say.
So how many kids do you have?
I have 2.
Were you married?
I was.
Okay. And how long are you divorced?
I am.
How long you been divorced?
4 years.
Okay. So what's your question?
My question was I just wondered if it would just be better for me just to simply wait until my daughters were older to date.
Well,
and just to explore, because I have dated, and interestingly enough, the men that I've met, they're usually older, they're stable, they have, some of them have lived at least 2 lives, and that's fine because I'm 40, so that's to be expected.
You're how old?
I'm 40.
How old is your youngest daughter?
9.
How old is your oldest daughter?
12.
See, here's the issue with.
Yeah. So what I was going to, are you done talking?
Well, I mean, if you met a guy that you were fond of and he was fond of you, where's their father?
Oh, he's in their life.
But would he want would you or him be all right with a man in the house of 2 teenage girls in development?
I haven't had a conversation with him about that.
Your ex-husband?
Yeah, I haven't talked to him specifically about that because I haven't.
But what do you think he would say?
I don't know, actually, to be honest. Okay. I don't know. He has somewhat of a passive personality.
Right. Is he very protective of his daughters?
No. Well, you know what? I don't know yet because I haven't really had a situation where he had to be.
Well, are you guys co-parenting successfully?
Yeah.
How often do you interact with him?
A couple of times a week. That's how often he gets them.
When's the last time you guys actually,
Probably back in 2013, years ago.
That's the last time you had him.
The last time I slept with him, yeah.
That's the last time you got these. Really, 2013.
2013.
7 years ago was the last time you scratched that itch.
Probably more like 6. I would say 2014 because that was the end.
So, and who have you been seeing since then?
I've just dated, but I think I've been.
Okay, ma'am, you're 40. 6 years ago was 34. Woman sexual prime is 35. Come on now.
What's your question again?
Who are you hooking up with?
Who?
Because if it wasn't your ex-husband, that's okay. But you haven't had any long-term relationships.
No.
You've been in your sexual prime. Look, I've had my fair share of experience, and come on, sis. That's all I'm trying to understand is. What I'm trying to understand is how close you guys are, and how realistic you're willing to be. If you're saying you haven't hooked up with him for 6 years, okay. But you say you see him every couple of weeks.
I see him every few days. That's how often he gets
every few days. Does he have a wife or a girlfriend?
No.
All right. So, it is. Are you guys still attracted to one another?
I am not attracted to him.
Has he changed physically?
As in how he looks?
Yes.
I mean, he's cut his hair and everything.
Okay. So we keep on moving. We keep on moving. And the net of it is this. A man that involved with his daughters has a comfortable relationship with his ex-wife. And he knows that you have not had a history of being out there on the wild side with me.
Well, he knows I date.
Date,
but I mean,
date
I
is
don't.
one thing, but nobody staying over.
Oh, no. I have daughters here. Absolutely
That's
not.
what I'm getting. That's what I'm saying. Your ex-husband knows that you aren't going to have men in the house with his daughters.
No, absolutely not.
But that would change. And the question is, how would he react if he felt like that was going to start happening?
You know, he might actually feel some kind of way about
that.
Of
course he would.
You are right.
So this is why I often say to women, why did you guys get divorced?
Over money. He doesn't keep a job, so it became very difficult financially. I'm talking foreclosure, bankruptcy, all that type of stuff, you name it. So it was just difficult.
Oh, okay. Okay. So he doesn't keep a job. All right. But he's active in his daughter's life, even post-divorce.
Yes.
So are you living at your means now?
I'm sorry, say that question again.
Are you living at your means now?
At my means, as in if I can afford my lifestyle?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you been foreclosed or anything like that post-divorce?
No.
Then do you make room for the possibility that maybe you guys are living outside of your means? Because the picture you've painted is of a man who, after divorce, is around every couple of days. That is a hell of a consistent man after a divorce of how many years? 4?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yes.
And he's over there 3 times a week. 52 weeks out of a year, he's over there almost as much, more than a lot of, come on, man. You divorced him over money. That's a petty thing to divorce over.
Well, he doesn't work.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
So you're basically saying the measure of your man is money.
The measure of my man is, can he provide for his family?
Well, okay. Now, when you got married, did you tell him you expected him to pay all the bills? Did y'all have that conversation?
I never told him I expected him to pay.
Oh, okay. But
I didn't tell him that.
But he's a good father. Yes or no?
He's a good father. Yes.
Okay. Okay. So I got to ask you, Miss Dakota, what's more important for your daughters?
You mean
what's more important for your daughters, a paycheck or a good father?
Them having a roof over their head.
Oh no, you got the roof covered.
Oh, so I'm supposed to take care of the children and a grown man.
Oh, well, see that. See, here's the thing. See, no, don't get into it with me. Well, what I'm saying is you're doing it already and you ain't got no man.
Well, I'm not taking care of a man.
And you gotta see those vows you took didn't say you can leave because of money issues. See, we have too many of our sisters that treat black men as though, if you ain't paying all the bills. That's why I start putting that question out there, letting black men know, you better understand that black women will never come out and say it, but they expect you to pay everything. And if you don't, they'll leave you. Doesn't matter how good of a man you are, how good of a father you are, they will leave. Now, the funny thing is, you basically painting the picture of a man who has damn good character, but you throw him away because he ain't paying no bills. But the funny thing is, are you working any less hard than you would be if he was there?
Am I working?
Are you
less
working
hard?
yeah. If he was there, would you still have to do what you're doing? You still have to go to work.
Yes.
All right. So him
I
not
have-
being there is not a net gain for you. It's a
Okay.
loss. You don't have a man in the house or any help.
Okay.
Uh, you're a grown woman, right? I mean, let's be honest.
I
You
am.
still are working, paying, but you are saying it like, I'm supposed to take care of a grown man. Well, would you rather? So a man is nothing but a check. He's
It's
supposed to
not
pay the
about.
bills, ma'am. It sounds like it or not. I get what you want, but what you got is what you got. You married the man. You got kids. He's a good father, but you prioritize money, so you divorced him over money. And here's the net. Why is all this coming to? Why is it going to come to bear? When you talk about dating and people start getting into your history with your ex, and this comes out, when this comes out, the guys who are worth a damn, they're gonna be like, oh, no, 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 no. They're gonna be like, nah, this woman left her husband because of money. So that's cool. Did you gain any weight in the marriage?
No.
And that's the thing. And as long as you're cool with being judged that way, because let's say if you were to go off and get married or find somebody, he could. I hope you're all right with being left the same way because of a younger woman gaining weight or whatever. But you haven't said the man's a bad man. But I get it. I'm not telling you to take care of a grown man, but I'm telling you right now, you don't sound like you're doing nothing else. It sounds like you were better off married. Something in your ego wouldn't allow you to take care of no grown man. I feel you. I hear
Okay.
you, but but I gotta ask you, Dakota, were your daughters happier with daddy in the house?
They're always happy. I mean,
No, ma'am. That is
there
a
has
disingenuous answer. See, we were doing good until you did that.
What did I do?
I asked you a direct question. Were your daughters happier with daddy in the house?
Yes.
And you would not give that man credit. You deflected. See, that's so petty. That wasn't about your daughters. That was all about you.
May I ask you a question?
Sure.
So do you think that in a marriage, so you know how you were getting ready to ask me if I gained weight or, whatever other questions you were going to ask me. I'm just trying to get my words right. So I guess because there's a part of me that does feel like, okay, because when it comes to a woman, a wife, if she gets to changing and she gains weight, or if there's not enough sex and things after the children, if anything in her mood changes after she becomes a mother, if she changes in any way for the worse, and then he makes a choice to step out or leave or not do anything, I mean, is that okay? Because sometimes I feel like if a man changes and he's not on top of his responsibility, I feel like, particularly as a Black woman, that we're supposed to just normalize the dysfunction and just kind of go with it, even if you're in jeopardy of losing your home, or
Is this a question?
I mean,
No, see what I allowed you to do, ma'am, is I allowed you to talk it all out, and you're starting to have a moral conflict with your own argument.
You think so?
Oh yeah. I'm good at what I do.
Okay.
I'm good at what I do. I let you get it all out because what you're having to say. Well, see, what you couldn't say is none of that happened. You're giving me a hypothetical, and I'm going to ask.
Well,
No, I'll let you.
I didn't
Hold
say
on,
you
ma'am.
ever.
I'll let you speak for 2 minutes, uninterrupted.
Oh, okay.
None of that happened in your relationship. So hypotheticals don't matter to your individual situation. Let's just put it on the wood.
Okay.
Your ego cannot handle a man who's not paying the bills. That's it. So for
I
that,
never
you broke
say
your.
all.
No, I'm still going. That's it. It's not about character. It's not about family. It's not about the children's happiness. It's about your ego not being able to accept the fact that this man is under earning. That's it. It's not as though you said this man was a lazy, good for nothing, shiftless dude sitting here playing Madden all day. He's an active, good father. There are women. Come back and look at the chat room and see what women are saying. I'm not looking, but I can pretty well guess what the women who watch this platform are saying. Oh my God, sis. Basically, you have put money, and I'm going to say this: you ain't rich. It's a very petty thing you divorced for, and see that's what this whole COVID pandemic thing has kind of helped Black people realize that all this shit that so many of our sisters people have valued, can be taken like that, and all you got is family. All you got is each other. And what you're looking at is a man that you divorced over money who's still doing what he should be doing. See, if you divorced him over money and he just said, fuck it, I'm not going to do anything, then you'd have had a case. I divorced him over money and he ain't done nothing for his daughters. Now, no, he's still over here two, three times a week. He's active as ever.
When you say active, can you define active?
I'm defining what you said.
No, what do you think active means?
Active is you have sole physical custody, right?
Yes.
Okay, so he has every other weekend.
Yeah.
That's what he has. So being over there every other day is outside of his custody arrangement. It's helping you. He only gets every other weekend. But he is extremely active according to the law. You are getting, if you need to do anything, all you gotta do is pick up a phone and say, "Hey, dude, come over here," and he's there like that because he's still in his daughter's lives. Ma'am, this was I would tell you this: good luck trying to date any man with any character and telling this story. It doesn't sound really good, ma'am. You divorced him over petty money reasons.
You think it's petty?
Yes, I do, because ma'am, your ass is still getting up having to work. All you don't have is a man.
Okay. Well, I would like a man who works. So.
Well, good. What would your daughters like?
Okay.
What would your daughters like?
They would like a father.
No, they would like they would like, no, don't get, that's bullshit. See, now you want to go there. That's little. They want their father.
Exactly.
They want their father. And they would like their mother not to have divorced their father over petty freaking reasons.
But here's the thing though. Do you think that as they get older that they're
going to do no, what I think is going to happen is they get older, they're going to resent the hell out of you. They're going to resent you want to hear? I think they're going to resent the absolute fuck out of you because their father is showing up on Tuesday and Thursday. He's there monthly. He's doing the hard work. See, many women complain of high value men of just being a check and not being there. You got the whole goddamn man even afterwards, and you're too fucking blind to see it. You took their father out of the household for a little bit of money, for a little bit of money, for a little bit of money. You're not rich for a little bit of money. And you didn't discuss this up front, ma'am. You didn't go into it saying, hey, man, I need you to carry all the bills. You need to pay all this stuff. You did this afterwards. Good for you. Get the fuck off my phone. I cannot stand women like you.
Well, this episode was just insane. This woman comes into the situation trying to blame the man. But when you really unpeel it, when you really peel back the layers, you would see that this man, let's say he couldn't keep a job. He was doing everything else he possibly could. And then I really sit here and I really doubt the fact that this man just had no job for years on end. I refuse to believe that. That's not necessarily what she said, but what she said was he couldn't keep a job. So that means that he was still consistently even trying. So this man, an active father, someone who's there every other day after the divorce, is sitting here getting told a lie on him in front of thousands of people like this man is a deadbeat. And again, like Kevin said, a lot of people complain that the fathers are never there with the money. The men that have the money, that's all they do is just provide the money. They're not there. They're not seeing them, not taking them places. They're not showing them love, life experience, giving them life experiences, teaching discipline to them. This man is there, still active. But let this woman tell it, this man is nothing. Then she wanted to sit there again, flip it back onto the man and say, well, if he starts having these little problems, shouldn't like a black woman do something about it and not have to sit up there and put up with it? Well, let me tell you what you did put up with. The fact that you now have a broken family. You now have daughters that are going to grow up and say, my parents were divorced. I lived in a single household. But the fact that my father was there every single day or every other day is what's going to be alarming to people. And you see, you can do this for a while. But as your daughters get older, they will learn. They will understand. They will know the truth. And now this woman is divorced, 2 kids, back on the market, has to pay all her bills. Before, if she just had to cover a bill or 2 or 3 because he couldn't keep a job, now she has to cover all of them. So women need to start being more practical. Am I going to weather this storm and stay in my marriage, and then hopefully at the end of it, great outcomes come because I did marry this man and gave vows? Or you could be another statistic that pays all the bills and everything that she didn't want to do, she has to do now. Make that make sense. I want everyone to please leave your thoughts and opinions in the comment section down below. Make sure you guys like and subscribe if you guys haven't already, and turn on post notifications. Welcome back, and thank you for joining the Stoic Context. And I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.